As the news of Mrs. Odette Campbell's passing spreads, some of those she nurtured are remembering the woman who encouraged, molded, scolded, and laughed with them. No stranger to the media landscape in Grenada, Mrs. Campbell had a good eye for talent, as reflected in her selection of Blossom Alexis Welsh as a member of the GBN family.
Mrs. Campbell would forever be to me boss lady. She has helped me tremendously in my career as a journalist. She heeded my call and my request when I told her I wanted to get into radio, and she took a chance on me and gave me one of the primetime spots on Classic FM. I would forever be grateful for her and to her. Even after I left GBN, she always helped me professionally. She always offered up a laugh whenever we spoke, whenever we were in contact, and we kept in touch. She would forever be missed.
Whenever Tricia Rubin makes that trip back home, one place on the top of her itinerary is the GBN, where Mrs. Campbell takes pride in accompanying her on tour of the building to greet everyone. She now remembers the woman who molded her career as a journalist.
Odette, you're gone, girl. You will be greatly missed. First and foremost, thank you for your friendship. Thank you for being one of my mentors and all the opportunities at the Grenada Broadcasting Network, the trainings throughout the region, and the professional development opportunities you have created for me and others to ensure that we excel as journalists. Odette, like all of us, was not perfect. She had a strong personality, very stubborn, and can be difficult sometimes. Strong-willed, and once she made up her mind about a matter, well, that's it. It was all love, though. She had a big and generous heart. I love you, Odie.
Colin Campbell says he's forever grateful to Mrs. Campbell for the opportunities she created for him.
I've always known Miss Campbell to be this strong, independent, tenacious individual, a go-getter, hard worker, someone who will stop at nothing to achieve, her goals and her dreams, and I love that about her.
Tony Julian and Odette Campbell butted heads over her decision to put him in the spotlight, a decision she was proud of, and one that made Tony Julian a household name.
If it were not for Odette, one of the things I do as a broadcaster right now, that's news anchoring. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't be doing it. So I'm really grateful to her. And there have been some memories, working with her, since the late 1980s. It's been quite a while.
Gerard Joseph is another reporter Mrs. Campbell groomed and was immensely proud of the strides he made.
Her work ethic cannot be seconded in terms of what we have seen recently. I, as president, was fortunate to have worked with her, and it was something that it was a learning experience, and she had a lot of knowledge to share.
Philomena Robertson shares fond memories of Mrs. Campbell.
Odette has been very important in my life as a professional, and she's also been a friend. When I first started in media many years ago, Odette was one of the most senior persons at Radio Grenada, and I admired her approach to work, and in some ways I think I emulated that. So when I look back on my career now, I must say that I owe a lot to her.
It was only a few weeks ago that former Superintendent of Police Sylvan McIntyre lost his son, Asher McIntyre, due to a vehicular accident. Mrs. Campbell reached out to him, despite her own challenges. He's now extending that gesture to her family.
I think it's a loss for the GBN family. It's a loss for Grenada, and I would like to express on my personal behalf, as part of an indirect member of the GBN family, my deepest condolences to the family of husband and children and all those who are grieving her loss.
Cherry and Blackman Stephen, another product of Odette Campbell, for GBN News.